If you guys were to be possessed by a dead person, who would it be?
John Candy.
The John Candy?
Yeah, I want to be famous and fat and in movies. And I think he's got the talent to do it.
I wish you'd have just
You
been
realize you could just be fat and famous if you applied yourself.
No. I don't want to apply myself. I'd rather just get along on John Candy's accolades. He's already there. He's already done it. I'm going to have to gain like 200 pounds, but I can be famous for a little bit.
Could you not just be John Candy but not super fat? Or do you have to be fat to be John Candy?
I could be thin candy.
I think some of his bits wouldn't translate if you weren't fat.
I feel that's probably true.
Yeah. That could
And
be
then
a
I could
challenge.
make sequels to his movies. You know, let's see. What's the best John Candy movie? We could make The Great Outdoors 2.
Ooh.
I could be Barf from Spaceballs.
Your own best friend.
Mark's really looking at making that Nothing But Trouble too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Was it John Candy who was Uncle Buck?
He was.
Yes,
He
he
was
was
Buck
Uncle
too.
Buck.
Uncle Buck is, there you
I'm
go.
telling you, it's easy money.
Okay.
Planes, Trains, and Automobile could be like Ubers, Lyfts, and motor scooters.
Perfect.
You know?
Perfect. I think I'm onto something. John?
I don't know how to follow up with that. I don't think I'd want to be possessed by anybody, but if I did have to be possessed by somebody, who would it be? Someone very smart.
He's all, Ivan Reitman. Let's get this going.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Ivan
someone-
Reitman's still alive.
Is he? Wait, who's the guy
He's
from?
the guy that did Ghostbusters.
I thought he died.
No.
Didn't he die? Who
His
died
dad-
in Ghostbusters then?
That's Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis. My bad.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I'll go with Harold Ramis. Good thinking. Harold Ramis.
You put a lot of thought into that one, John.
You know, I'm a go with the flow kind of guy. If I'm going to be possessed, I'm going to do it crowdsource style.
Now, if you grow your hair out, John, can you pull off like an Egon Spengler hair?
No, I can't. My hair doesn't do anything except immediately become an afro.
Mine does too.
That's all that happens. I've grown it out before to see what would happen. It's not a good look. Not at all.
Well, you get a little product in there. We can make you look like
A
Spengler.
couple of mad scientists.
Yeah, we need a lot of product. I have way too much curls, and it's annoying.
Well, I like that answer.
There's hair talk.
Welcome back to Hair Talk.
What do you
I'm
got,
out. You know, I kind of want to go with Robin Williams. I mean, there's a lot of like really cool famous people I'd like to hear. David Bowie would probably be pretty cool. But I feel like Robin Williams would just really be freaky. Like if you're possessed, that dude can just like come up with voices. He can go nut. I mean, like he's gonna make the possession experience probably the most enjoyable.
I think living Robin Williams seemed like he was possessed.
Imagine if he had the powers of true possessity.
You can make it float and turn your head around.
What if he was just the genie?
That's what I'm saying. You could just be like the G, and you're like, oh man, there it is.
Perfect. Man. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
How do we get this happening? How do we get the exorcism?
Ouija board.
How do we get the possession ball rolling?
Well, based
we
on
have
the
to be told not to buy a Ouija board,
Right,
and then
you
go
got-
out and buy the best Ouija board we can find.
best damn Ouija board you've ever seen.
Thank you, Paranormal Activity, for giving us that lesson.
Yeah, and then what you do is once you contact the ghost,
Taunt it.
taunt, and then don't close the conversation. In fact, watch the movie Ouija. It tells you exactly what not to do. Do that.
Over.
That's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel like insulting John Candy enough to get him to come out from his slumber.
The Ouija experts would say, you don't even know if you're talking to John Candy. Demons are liars. Abort, abort, abort.
Death be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful. Thou art not so.
Hey, all you creatures from cyberspace. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Grave Talk podcast. My name is Mark, again joined by John and Garrett. Fellas, how we doing today?
It's a wonderful life.
That's a movie. You want Stuart to possess your body?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
It's a magical day.
Mary! Oh.
It's also a reference to this movie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm doing okay. As I mentioned on a previous episode, I worked my way through the Aliens saga, and it was still amazing, except for Resurrection.
So are you pro Wayland or pro Utani?
You know, I don't think you can have one without the other.
Yeah.
You know?
Both are needed.
It's like Benny and the Jets. You just can't have Benny.
Heads
Because
without
he's got a
tails.
cab driver.
The yin and yang of the evil corporation.
Yeah, I did those. Aliens 1, still fucking amazing. Aliens, the second one, I'm just not a huge fan of. I can never get into it the way I love Bishop. There's so many things I want to love about that movie, but I just cannot get into it the way that other people do.
And here I thought you were cool.
I'm the coolest, baby.
Now you're going to tell me how much you like Aliens 3.
I actually really enjoy
Oh,
Aliens
no.
3. I do think it has some very weak points, but I think that the premise of that movie is just solid as hell. I love it.
Was
I think
3
that-
Whedon or 4?
Yes,
Three,
three was
okay.
wait,
No,
was
3 was Finch.
Finch. Resurrection was
There's
Whedon.
Fincher.
David Fincher.
David Fincher.
Yeah, David Fincher.
Yeah, I really enjoy 3, 4.
The director's cut.
Yes,
Gotta
of
be
course.
specific.
Of
It's gotta
course.
be the director's
Yeah,
cut.
no, we're not talking theatrical on that one. We're talking about the stuff where it's like storyboard frames put into the movie to like
Right.
do a scene.
Theatrical. What do you think? He's an amateur here?
Come on, box set, baby. And then Prometheus, I will ride or die Prometheus. I love that movie.
You'll probably die if you don't know you can run sideways. So
That's
Yeah,
true.
all the movies critics just can't get over the faults of the flaws. But there's a really good movie in there.
it's a good movie.
Fantastic movie. And honestly, Alien Covenant would have been a phenomenal movie if they had just not given the script to that one dude to add in the Aliens 1 storyline.
Yeah, that's studio meddling, unfortunately.
Well, it was all the fans being like, I went and saw Prometheus and there was no aliens in it. And it's like, well, yeah, fucking Scott said, this is not a xenomorph story. We're done with that. They're gone. They're out. And then fucking Covenant came back and they were like, we got to add aliens because everyone was pissed about that. And it's like, dude, you just fucked up an incredibly awesome story with David and that whole. Anyway.
In your rewatch, did you watch the best one, Alien versus Predator?
No.
Go
And
home.
what about Alien versus Predator?
No.
2?
Move away.
Garbage Town.
What's worse than go home and move away?
Do you not time is limited. You do not value your time.
Obviously, I watch Amazon horror movies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I don't appreciate the alien queen and the Antarctic fight.
yeah. Classic.
After climbing out of the underground pyramid.
I mean, key scenes in cinema. Rosebud, Alien Queen fight in Alien versus Predator.
And Bobcat Goldthwait's monologue from Hot to Trot.
Yeah, I mean everybody knows that.
I like Alien Covenant. I even like the Aliens bit. The problem is it didn't do anything new, but I thought it was well shot.
What, the aliens bit didn't
Yeah.
do anything new? Yeah,
Inside Alien
Well, that's
Covenant.
the thing is, so if you actually if you go to it, like, the script was written and then the studio noted it to hell, and then it went to another writer who was like, I was excited to basically, they wanted me to add more alien stuff to it,
Right.
and I was excited to basically, since it was my favorite movie, like to write the movie Alien into this script. Like the dude like flat out says like, I basically wrote my version of Alien into this script, and I'm like,
But what I'm saying is I don't mind it. It's not the best part of
it
the movie.
serves no
Right.
purpose to this storyline that we've set up in Prometheus and Covenant.
Sure. But it was fine on its own. If it was like its own thing, it's like, it was well shot.
But that diminished everything that like the David storyline had built up. It was like, this is all fluff. This is all chaff here. We don't need this.
well, we can only hope that they'll let Scott do the third one. But now that it's owned by Disney, who knows?
Who knows?
Disney's not going to turn away a cash cow like fucking the Aliens franchise.
You know what film had no aliens?
What?
The Exorcist 3.
It didn't.
We should watch that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wait,
maybe
we
do an
did.
episode.
All right. Well, we're here today to talk about Exorcist 3. And as we do, we go heavily into the plot. So if you don't want to be spoiled, watch it and come back and listen to us talk about it.
And another thing about Aliens too, okay? No.
So The Exorcist 3 from 1990. This one was directed by author William P. Blatty.
Wait, 1990?
Yeah.
How long? When did the original come out? 70 something, right?
Yeah, it was a long break because Exorcist 2 pretty much shit on the franchise. And in fact, and I don't know if I'm going to get ahead of some trivia Mark will have, William Peter Blatty did not want to call this Exorcist 3. He wanted to call it Legion, which is what the book's called. Because the Exorcist 3, Exorcist franchise was shit after Exorcist 2.
It was tainted after 2.
Yeah, but the studio was really insistent on it, so he slapped Exorcist 3 onto it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they also cut it. And they, for the longest time, his full vision of what this movie was supposed to be was lost. Well, back in 2016, Shout Factory released a theatrical and director's cut. They found a VHS tape with all the missing material, and they spliced it in. So now it's closer to William Blatty's original vision for this movie.
What about the one we watched this time? Was it the
Theatrical, which I
And
think...
the thing is you'll know when you were watching the cuts because it's in VHS quality,
Yeah.
bumped up against HD.
Really?
Yeah.
And there are some cool things in the director's cut, but I actually really do prefer the third act of the theatrical version to William Peter Blatty's original version, which didn't have like an
Let's
exorcism
get into
at
that.
all.
I want to get into that because
Well,
that's
I'm definitely going to buy that box set because I really enjoyed this movie. I would recommend it. I think it's
Is it an Exorcist box set or just Exorcist 3
it's
box
just
set?
3 with both versions in it.
Okay.
Which is fine. You do not want Exorcist 2. If you've never seen it, do yourself a
have
favor
not.
and do not, or if like Riff Tracks or something did it, watch it with that because it's so bad.
Well, John, can you just quickly? Well, let me get the names out of here, and then I
Yes.
want you to just to briefly recap 1 and 2 first.
You said recrap.
Recap.
Love it.
Okay.
Okay, let me look up 2 while you
Okay,
do this.
you do your thing. So this one stars George C. Scott playing Bill Kinderman, and he was the detective from the first movie. And I got to say, this is one of the strongest George C. Scott performances that I've seen. I think
He's so good in it.
he's such a great actor. You'll know him from like the Christmas Carol. He played Ebenezer Scrooge in that. He was Patton. He was in Doctor Strangelove. He played the general in that movie. So he is like a well-seasoned guy at this point. He's a huge name.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised they got him, to be honest.
And I'm so glad that they got such a great actor because Kinderman plays such an important. I mean, there's a lot of monologuing, a lot of dialogue in this film. Like, if you had a weak actor, it would have gone terribly. But thankfully, he just puts this movie on his back.
He's a lieutenant, right?
Yes, he's the lieutenant.
Without his performance, this movie would have failed.
Agreed. Big time.
So to continue with the cast, we've got Ed Flanders as Father Dyer, Brad Dourif as the Gemini Killer. We got Jason Miller as Patient X. Jason Miller is the original Father Karras from the first movie.
Is that the white hair guy that shows up at the end?
He's the one that keeps intermingling with Brad Dourif's character. They keep changing the actor.
Okay, yeah.
Nicole Williamson as Father Morning, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he is the priest that performs the exorcism at the end.
Okay, that's
Yes,
what I was wondering.
he is, yes.
Okay.
All right. This one is sitting at a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes out of 41 critics and a 55% with the audience, 34,034.
Wow, that's so
That
low.
seems a little low, honestly.
It feels low.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I can totally see how people would come to that based after watching this movie. I can see how people would be at that score.
Yeah.
But the ending, the whole third act is so good. I feel like it carries the water of the first act, which was very lackluster and all over the place.
I wonder if it's because it's called The Exorcist and they're expecting more of a classic demonic possession movie, which this is more of like a police procedural, also with a demonic possession.
In the criminal justice system, there are two separate yet equal groups: those who do exorcisms and those who are exorcised.
That'd be OG.
These
I'd
are their
watch
stories.
Law and Order Special Exorcist Units.
The XPD.
Yes.
All right. Well, here's what the back of the VHS box has to say about Exorcist 3. For more than 15 years, Police Lieutenant Kinderman has been haunted by the death of his friend, Father Damien. Now, on the 15th anniversary of the exorcism that claimed the father's life, Kinderman's world is once again shattered when a boy is found decapitated and savagely crucified. It's just the beginning of this nightmarish series of bizarre religious murders. Soon, a priest is found stabbed in the confessional, and Father Dyer, another of Kinderman's close friends, is brutally slain in the hospital bed. I guess we're just doing the whole movie,
You think
guys.
they tell us the plot on the back of this
Yeah.
box? Jesus.
When we're not done yet, I still got 2 paragraphs. When a psychopath claiming to be the infamous Gemini Killer admits responsibility for all the murders, Kinderman insists on a personal confrontation. The man does, in fact, know intimate, gruesome details that only the true killer could possibly know about. There's only one problem. The Gemini Killer died in the electric chair 15 years ago.
Get out.
The Exorcist 3 is author-director William P. Blatty's personal vision of what followed after The Exorcist. Like the original, Exorcist 3 combines elements of the detective story, a theological puzzle, and an unforgettable study in terror. Ooh. That's a lot of words.
Unforgettable study in terror. We haven't heard that one before.
No, they really, we're so close to an unspeakable study in
unspeakable
terror.
horror. You know,
Yeah.
That's what we're always looking for here, the unspeakable horrors.
But
But this
no.
one is an unforgettable study of terror.
You know, I believe that.
Which,
yeah.
by that rationale, though, is not true in any movie we do where it says that, because we speak about these terrors and horrors.
At length.
John, can you recap us on Exorcist 1 and 2?
Yes. All right. So Exorcist 1, I mean, I'm guessing if you're listening to this podcast, you know pretty much. So I'm going to fly through that. It's about Reagan McNeil, who gets possessed by Pazuzu, who is a demon, and Father Damien ultimately exorcises her. He, at the end, gets, spoilers for a 30-year-old movie, 45-year-old movie. I think we're well past spoiler territory then. He takes Pazuzu inside of himself and throws himself out the window. and dies. And that is the end of The Exorcist. The Exorcist 2, please do not watch this movie, but if you want to, it's on Amazon Prime. The Exorcist 2 picks up Reagan's story. Now she's an adult, and she lives in New York, and she's still undergoing like psychiatric, evaluations from this ordeal that she went through. And it picks up as a priest who is like a protege of the Exorcist. And God, it's just so bad, guys. I can't even explain it without it sounding crazy.
Well, explain it.
The church doesn't believe that this exorcism really happened, by the way. So
Wait, the first one?
For the first one. In the second one, the church is like, it all seems like bullshit.
They're doing that whole shtick.
Yeah. And so they want to get images and possessions out of Reagan's mind about this, and they hook them up to some sort of crazy mind-reading device that
Those don't exist.
flashes
Like the Lawnmower Man?
Yeah, well, it flashes a bunch of light at her, if I remember right. And also there's like a B story about locusts and how the locusts are part of Pazuzu's attack on Earth, and Pazuzu specifically attacks spiritual healers, which is what Reagan, I guess, is. And ultimately, she gets repossessed, and
She gets repossessed because she didn't make payments on her soul.
And they go back to her house in Georgetown, and they have a climatic exorcism there, and the whole house starts collapsing, and a swarm of locusts attack her.
In the same house from part one?
Yes,
Okay.
that she has to swing like bat. She has to fight off locusts while an exorcism is happening. The end.
Okay. Well, that doesn't sound great. Was that one based on a book that Blatty did
No,
too?
in fact, he hates this movie, loathes it, had nothing to do with it, and was like, that movie is an abomination, which it is,
Well, then we got Exorcist 3.
which he wrote.
Wait a minute, hold on. So in the second one, you're to tell me that the church doesn't believe that the exorcism actually took place. They don't believe it was
They're
real.
conflicted, in air quotes, but yeah, they pretty much are like, this is bonkers shit. There's no proof, there's no video, so they're just like, I don't know.
Well, wait, they believe in all that other stuff, but they don't believe in this?
Well, the church in the Exorcist universe is very skeptical of exorcisms. Remember, in the first one, Damien was like, "Here's what you need to do: you need to go to a doctor because like in the first one, when Reagan's mom is like, "Hey, how do I get an exorcism?" The Damien's like, "What you want to do is get a time machine and go back to the 16th century," because he's a dick, and this lady is like asking for his help, and he thought it was a good time to be sarcastic.
Wow.
Yeah. The Exorcist 3 picks up after The Exorcist. So you don't need to know about anything about The Exorcist 2. They do notably never talk about The Exorcist 2 in any way. So you could just go Exorcist, Exorcist 3 and be happy.
So we'll forget it ever happened and don't watch if you haven't seen it, but jump into Exorcist 3. I think
Done and done.
Yeah.
I think we'd all recommend this movie, right?
Big time.
Garrett?
I would recommend this movie with the caveat of setting the expectation properly with the viewer of
It's one of them talkies.
well, not even so much that, just because I love a good backstory. I love a good deep monologue into information. But you got to set the expectation of this is not going to make any fucking sense until the second act. Just bear with it. There's some crazy shit that happens in the first act, but it's all just random events and just fucking back and forth dialogue where it's like, what does this have to do with anything? And then it all kind of makes sense in the second act, but you have to really consciously sit to that first act.
I don't think I had a problem following it, to be honest.
It just feels like a dream, but I like that.
It centers around Lieutenant Kinderman from the first movie, and it really just kind of shows what a snapshot of his life, right? We get a lot of his interaction with his family, his interaction with his best friend, Father Dyer.
Right.
And in the first 35 minutes, I wrote down, is this movie a black comedy? Because
that's the thing, is
they're cracking jokes.
the dialogue between him and Dyer, I was just
so good.
I was like, okay, why are you guys talking so fast? Why are you guys quipping nonstop? What is going on? And then it cuts to his family, and it's he's having quick conversation with them. Then he goes to the bar and he's having a conversation with someone else, and I'm
people on the Northeast talk.
and I'm just yo, what does it have to do with anything? And then the murders start, and then it's okay, and then he cares about it, and then he's talking to a newspaper guy, and it's what thread am I supposed to be chasing? And then it quickly puts you on track. But
it's
for a
showing
while,
his
it's
how he's disillusioned, right? I mean, and it opens with a murder. I mean, you don't see it.
You're right, it does, but it didn't feel that way until we got to the main plot point, the plot line, and I was like, oh, that was all to build this up. It just didn't catch me at first.
All right.
But yeah, I would recommend it because honestly, the second and third act of this movie damn.
Yeah, I like all three acts, so I agree. Second, third act, awesome, but I also like the first act. I like how it shows this relationship between, two older men and how they're best friends and how they've, gone through this traumatic experience and how they're trying to cope. Every year they go see It's a Wonderful Life, which is a callback to the first Exorcist.
Well, the thing is, Dyer's having the conversation with the other priests about how he's going to see the movie. I was like, "Who is this about Dyer?" Like, I thought it was supposed to be about Dyer, so they kept like switching over to Kinderman. I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Well,
like,
I think it's showing this parallel where they both think I think as friends, they know they both need each other, right? So Father Dyer is like, yeah, Kinderman gets depressed, so I got to go cheer him up. And then Kinderman says,
okay.
Father Dyer's depressed.
Okay.
This is the most depressed day of the year. So
I absolutely love that dynamic. It's like telling his family, I got to go hang out with the priest. It's the day Damien died.
Yeah.
I got to go cheer him up. And the other guy's saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, I got that, but it was just one of those things where it was like, I was like, well, who am I supposed to be caring about? Like, who's the character I'm supposed to be following here? And it wasn't made clear until like the beginning of the second act.
Let me just say this right now, and I think this is going to help you out a little bit. And I think this might be lost on people that didn't read the book. Reading the book versus the movie Kinderman is barely in the film. He's there for like maybe 10 minutes.
in this case,
max.
The Exorcist, not the Exorcist 3 book, but
Correct.
the original Exorcist book, Kinderman's like a main character.
Yeah, in the book, he's like in it.
Yeah.
All the time. You follow that character around from start to finish while he's trying to figure out, is she really possessed or did somebody murder the director?
Okay, well then that makes more sense then, because in the movie I was like, they're like, oh, he was heavily around. I was like, was he? I don't remember seeing that dude hardly at all.
Yeah, and I think that might be why a lot of these people gave this such a low rating. Like, why are we following the cop? Where's Reagan? Where's the, where's
Go watch
the mother?
Exorcist 2 and feel, well, the mother, she never comes back. In Exorcist 2, she took off to Europe like her dad, and Reagan's all alone. But if you want to know Reagan's story, go watch Exorcist 2.
Did Reagan get mentioned in this movie?
No.
Did I just miss?
Well,
okay.
They
yes.
mentioned the exorcism.
In like
that's it.
one line, throwaway line, they're like, oh, it's related to, the Reagan
Yeah, I
exorcism.
remember that.
But no.
But I just didn't know like they said what happened to her at all.
No.
But after reading the book, for me personally, this movie is a perfect sequel for that first book. Because it was so tied into Kinderman, I was like, yeah, I'm into it. Let's see what happens to him 15 years later. And then when they play out like, holy shit, the real connection to movie 1 with Brad Dourif's character,
Yeah.
that was just like, wow.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it was really good. So let's get into it a little bit. One of the things I also really appreciate about this film is the lack of music. There ain't no soundtrack in this thing. There's some ooh here and there, but there's not a soundtrack.
They play Tubular Bells once real
for
quick.
30 seconds
Yeah.
and they shut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very beginning, which I thought was a really cool intro scene. I thought the intro credit stuff, I was like,
Yeah,
ooh,
great.
We got the feel of the first one. And then I was like, well, I hope you felt it, because that's the last time we're going to
Then
feel
we're going
that.
to go see rowers.
Right. I was like, what's up with this row team?
Yeah, because like after the credits, we get like the breeze that comes in and busts into just kicks the door open the church. Like, I'm here, motherfucker.
It's
like,
a light evil breeze.
Yeah.
And then are crucifixes known for opening their eyes?
Only if a demon's around and Jesus has got to fuck some shit up.
This movie had a really weird thing where they would show imagery that you weren't supposed to know if was real or not. But the thing is, the prop that they used looks so real, like in real life.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, wait a minute, do they just have a Joker statue in this church? It was like, so yeah, the crucifix opens its eye, and I was like, oh, what the hell is going on in this movie? And then we get like the voiceover of like, I have a dream of a rose and staircases. And then bam, we wake up out of that. And then it's like, the murders happened, right? Mm-hmm. Man, I'm probably fucking this all up.
No, I mean,
That's the general gist.
so what you're experiencing is a vision from the evil that is being given to Kinderman. He's seeing these murders take place as they happen in his dreams.
Wait,
Yeah.
so Kinderman's seeing this?
Yeah, he's dreaming this.
Yeah, it becomes really, really apparent when Dyer dies, which I don't think is a spoiler because the back of the fucking box apparently tells
Clearly.
you. When Dyer dies, it's like, remember, he's like, dude, I'm not dreaming.
Because he goes in that like weird fucking Fabio,
with Samuel Jackson and-
Heavenscape.
And in the dream, he's got all the stitches along his neck because his head's already been cut off. And
Right.
he's like, I'm not dreaming, bro. I'm dead.
What?
Yeah, so Kinderman is like plugged into this universe. Like the
Just
demon
through
is
his
fucking
just through
with
his
him.
his experience through the first Exorcist.
Yeah.
Right, his connection to movie 1 is why he's
Okay,
being-
see, I couldn't figure that out. I was like, what the hell is going on with this dude? Like, he's got to be a clairvoyant or something, but I just thought more of it was just like he was like manifesting his own like mindset onto like the horrific shit he was seeing happen.
No, the whole shit about the roses and all that in the dream, that's when the kid is getting killed and strung up on the oars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I was laughing my ass off when they're describing the murder to Kinderman. He's like, yeah, kid got killed, had his eyes jammed out with ingots. Then his head got cut off. And then he was split open. and then he was crucified. I was like, and then
his head was replaced with a fucking like crucifix Jesus face that had blackface on it.
Yeah,
with the lips and everything. And I was like, slow the fuck down. Like, like when and how did this all go down?
He's a demon. He can do crazy shit.
But it was like just the most elaborate murder. I'm like, holy shit.
And then
well, it's ritualistic. You know, that's the message, I guess, is to send a message.
I didn't laugh, but my mouth literally fell open when they were describing that scene. I was like, what else happened to this dude? Like, and then he did a live action one act play, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
And then he went to vaudeville. Yeah. But this is starting to play
you're talking about when he tells it to Father Dyer, right? When he tells the
yeah.
Well, I think the point is, right, so Father Dyer was saying, like, look, we're all spirits. We're going to live forever. Everything will be fine. Like, you know, cheer up.
Because Dyer does say that. He was like, I believe in a more. He's like, because I want to live forever. He's like, no, you don't. And he was like, yeah, we're going to live forever.
And so I think Kinderman was like, look, here's what's going on in the fucking real world, bro. Like, it's disgusting out there. And that's why he told him, like, so elaborately how fucked up that murder was. Because after that, right, he cuts back to Dyer's point of view or, you know, face, and you can just see he's got, like, nothing to say, right? And the waitress comes by and is like, hey, are you okay? I can get you some other shit. But he's just processing, like, the evil in the world, you know?
I want to just say that since we're talking about Father Dyer and George C. Scott's Kinderman character, their chemistry is fantastic.
So good.
In fact, one of my favorite scenes is when Kinderman is describing having to keep a live carp in his tub.
Oh, another thing that I was like, yo, I've never seen a man so pissed about a fish before.
Well, if it was in your tub and
for 3 days.
Yeah.
Can't go home. Why? The carp. My wife's mother is visiting, Father. And Tuesday night she's cooking us a carp. It's a tasty fish. I have nothing against it. But because it's supposedly filled with impurities, she buys it live. And for 3 days it's been swimming up and down in my bathtub. Up and down. And I hate it. I can't stand the sight of it. Moving its gills. Now, you're standing very close to me, Father. Have you noticed? Yes. I haven't had a bath for 3 days. I can't go home until the carp is asleep. Because if I see it swimming, I'll kill it.
What is wrong with you? Like, what is going on with this person?
I think there's like a metaphor there, right? About this carp. This carp is caught in this tub, just swimming back and forth. Kinderman, I think, is like
knowing that it's going to die too,
right? And I think Kinderman is exhausted with being a police officer. I think he's like just being worn down. He got this Gemini killer. Now he really cared about that boy who got killed, right? And then he goes and he's talking to his staff or whatever, and they're just like making jokes or whatever. He's like, dude, I think this guy's a fucking racist. Yeah,
he flat out, he was all like, there was a question on the police exam that says, what would you do if you came into someone, or what would you do to protect someone with rabies? And he was like, I love like rabbis.
Yeah,
it was like,
do whatever I can for them.
I love Jewish priests. I'll do whatever I can for them. And I was like, that's a funny joke right there.
Great joke.
That was a great joke to really show that everyone else he works with is incompetent and just completely uncaring the way he is.
Right.
And it shows that he's still connected to it. Yeah. And he is not like defeated by, he's not numb to what's going on.
Right, but he's worn down.
And you get that with the conversations with Dyer, which you're right. I love the interactions, but like that carp.
Well, I think he's saying the carp is Kinderman.
He sees himself.
No, as you're saying this, I completely get it now. But at the time I didn't. I was like, this is pointless dialogue for pointless dialogue. And then earlier he's like,
I thought it was funny on its own. Like
that too.
Oh, it's funny, but I was like, what does this fucking serve for any of this?
He's like, you're close to me. I haven't been able to bathe in 3 days.
Yeah. And Father Joe is no Georgia Peach either. He says a line, Jesus loves you, but everyone else thinks you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, big time.
Well, he tells another priest that he's like, what did you say to him? And he's like, I told him that Jesus loves him, but everyone else thinks he's an asshole.
Yeah,
and I was
his
like,
biggest benefactor.
Yeah, I was like,
he got in trouble with the diocese. I guess they were.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be like helping some rich person,
Yeah.
like, counsel them or something, and that's what he told them.
yeah. Which I love that Dyer's character was very real in the fact that he was just like, I'm not here for the church. I'm here for spiritualism or whatever. Like he legitimately was still like, they both really cared about what they did for the right reasons.
Yeah, and they cared about each other.
They weren't bogged down by the system, but the system definitely was like not corrupted, but You know what I'm saying?
I think they were just
Don't make me say it. It's a podcast.
They were just disillusioned, right? I think they are becoming to just be worn down as they age, and they've been fighting these battles, and they've seen this horrific shit. And I think it is just starting. Like, I think Dyer was handling it better because he had this faith in God that Kinderman didn't have, right? Kinderman's like, man, Dyer tells him, look, we're all spirits. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to live forever. And he's like, I really wish I could believe that.
Yeah, Kinderman does not believe.
Right. And so some of this journey of like Kinderman's journey is going from that non-believer to become a believer, which, he happens at the end, right? It's like, I believe.
Sort of. And that's one of the things I want to talk about, though. But like, we'll get to that.
And I think it's watching these two people sort of deal with their disillusionment differently.
So you said about all the bad shit that they've seen. Well, one of the things that I found interesting, and let me know if you agree, is this movie doesn't have a lot of gore.
No.
It doesn't show the dead bodies. Anytime they're at a dead body, it's under a sheet, and he lifts up and looks under one hand, looks at one hand. It's not graphic.
Right.
Until the very end. There's a very graphic end scene.
Sure.
But yes.
But there's something to that scene. It was added by the studio, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
that whole
bit
exorcism bit.
Yeah, no, when you said there was some stuff added at the end, I was like, oh, I know exactly what scene was added at the end.
It's like, make it more like Exorcist, so it's just like Alien Covenant.
Yeah,
add the shit at the end.
I think it works better.
Stop fucking with these movies.
I think it works better. Like, I really do think it gives it a powerful, because it makes it feel like the whole movie was building to a crescendo instead of it being just sort of this slowish burn kind of. I don't know. I like the ending, but I do also really like in that you don't see you just see Kinderman's reactions. And thankfully, George Scott's such a great actor that it works. It could have been shitty, but
and that's one of the positives. I think it doesn't show you much at all until the end. And it's effective still. It's still very effective. Just to wrap up the poor kid who got killed and crucified on an oar, like the mortician or whoever comes in is like, we got the blood work back. He didn't die from all that other horrible shit. He was paralyzed by an electroshock drug.
It's so fucked up.
And he
was alive during
experienced all of that horrible shit. And it's just like, God damn.
And then you get a line later on from the quote unquote Gemini killer that expands on that. And he's all like, after you decapitate a head, it can see you for 20 seconds. I like to show them their own body. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, throw that in.
Fucking psycho. Like, he's like, just the little chuckles that we get. And I was like, dude, Brad Dourif as the Gemini killer. Fuck it. That dude is amazing from start to finish.
I think this is his best performance. I can't think of anything else. I was like, holy shit.
The main thing is the torment of your friend, Father Karras, as he watches while I rip and cut and mutilate the innocent, his friends, and again and again, and on and on. He is inside with us. He will never get away. His pain won't end.
Holy fuck. I'm like kind of frightened right now. Yeah. So one of the things that the director's cut with all the VHS footage is apparently it's all Brad Dourif's full performance in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So that's why I'm so interested to see
which one, because he has multiple moments.
Yeah, but it's just all him. There's no intersplicing between the two actors or any of that. It's
right, because sometimes it cuts back to the actor who played Damien.
Yeah. So anyway,
so you don't see the priest's face. That confused the fuck out of me.
It's two actors playing one role.
Yes, when they switched the actor, I was like, wait, is he in a different cell now? Who's this guy? And it wasn't until like the end I was like, oh, they're just showing what's inside of him.
Yeah.
Which they should not have done.
Which, if from what I understand, the original version is all Brad Dourif only.
It should have stayed that way, honestly, in my opinion.
I would agree
No
with
offense
that,
to anybody
yeah.
who likes it this way. I think Brad Dourif, I feel like, tapped into the Father Damien, like acting like his character. Because when he was pretending to be Damien, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
I know who you're supposed to be. And I guess maybe audiences got confused by that.
Yeah. So now at this point, we get this movie is going to mostly play out kind of like a cop procedural, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the first third, as Kinderman's trying to figure out who's killing. There's a murder at a church inside a confessional booth. You just see a priest go in on one side and you hear an old woman talking. Sorry to come in here, but I've been doing some bad things, and there's 17 things that I've done that I will never be forgiven for.
She's like, I have this need to confess whenever I do anything bad. Like if I step on a cross, two pieces of straw, like a cross, I have to confess. And he's like, the priest's like, all right, it's okay. She's like, and I like to get people and kill them, and there's just so much blood, and they cry, and I have to work on that. And then the priest's like, what the fuck? And then it just cuts.
Yeah, the priest is like, what? And then the woman starts like weirdly laughing like, and you're just like, what the shit? And then it cuts.
And crime scene.
Yeah.
Well, they splice the laughing of the old woman into a woman screaming, a random like churchgoer screaming, and they fade those over each other where it sounds like it's the same laugh turning into a scream. And then you realize that there's a woman who's there with her kids that came into the church.
Yeah.
And the priest's head's in the fucking holy water.
It's crazy,
Like
man.
you don't see it, but like they're actually like zipping up the bag with his head in it from the like little holy water cup.
And in the
marble
director's
thing.
cut, I don't know if they found this footage, but they shot a scene where they open the confessional and the priest is sitting there holding his own head, and they chose
Whoa.
not to go with that one, which I think is
probably good.
Yeah, I like it better just imagining and hearing them explain what happened. I don't think that would work for every movie, of course, but I think it really works with the tone of this movie.
Well, with every one of these horrific things, I think if you saw the shock value of the actual like murder, like the actual like, you know,
The visual.
Yeah.
the visuals, I think you would, it would shock you out of the moment.
Right.
I think you lose the impact of like, what the fuck? Because everyone's like very like, what the fuck? Oh, well, at least Kinderman is.
Yeah.
Some of the other cops are like, what do you want me to dust for prints inside there? We're just going to find the priest
He
prints.
fucking snaps
And he's like,
at
just fucking do it his due diligence, you dickhead. Like, just do your job.
And then it turns out to be important.
Yeah. And Kinderman spends the entire day at that church. Like he's sitting in the confessional booth, like he's looking out the window. You can see stuff's running through his mind. And I think he's starting to piece together like this murder MO is so similar to the one, you know, I forget how long it said
15 years.
15 years ago from the Gemini killer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's having those flashbacks like, oh shit, this is too similar. And you find out later that they lied to the public about that MO. You know, he's saying like, well, we told him a false story about how he was killing, but he was actually cutting the flesh off of the palm of the hand, not the back.
Well, he said he was cutting off a finger.
Yeah.
the
They said it was the
finger, too.
left hand and it was actually the right hand. Like,
But it was actually happening in accordance with the proper way that the Gemini killer was killing. He's like, nobody knows this.
Yeah.
So if it was a copycat, they should know this.
Yeah.
So at this point, he visits Joe in the hospital because Joe's like, he's got a cough, and I think they're alluding that he has lung cancer.
because he's
Yes.
smoking, right? So this is such a great scene. It shows their friendship, right? He brings him a hamburger, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not hungry." He's like, "Eat half," and he's like, "It's from wherever." And the fucking guy goes, "Where's the other half from?" He's like, "Oh fuck, I forgot what he says. I think he says like Mars or something." And he's such a smart ass.
I wish they had explained better why he was in the hospital, because out of nowhere I was like, I think this is the priest that was just at the movies.
It was, yeah.
And I was like, he went from being completely healthy at a movie to being
Well, he
hospital
said-
bedded.
While he was laying on the bed, he's like, what are you doing in here? He's like, oh, I'm just running some tests. I'm probably okay. He's like, yeah, your brother had the same cough or something.
Yeah,
right?
it's like your brother. Oh yeah, my brother had these same symptoms, and then Father Dyer goes, and then Kinderman goes, yeah, but your brother died at 30, and Father Dyer is like, yeah, but he died in Vietnam.
It was like,
And
it's not connected,
Yeah,
bro.
Kinderman's like, there could be a connection. Like,
And I was like, you're a cop?
yeah.
So it's just loosely saying he's in there getting tests for lung cancer.
This is about the time when I had to like stop taking notes, and like I just have to pay attention to everything that's being said here, because none of this makes sense to me right now. I'm missing something.
He's reading like the Women's Wear Weekly or whatever.
He's reading like tabloid magazines. He's like, bring me some like National Enquirers. I've read all this stuff. And he's like, what? All of it? And he's like, every single one of them. Let's go.
He goes, shouldn't you be reading the gospel? He's like, I don't get fashion tips from there. And Kinderman goes, that's fair.
So while he's in the hospital, one of the policemen come in and they're like, hey, we got the prints back. The two murders don't have the same prints. And he's like, wait, what? Because Kinderman totally expected this to be the same killer.
Yeah.
So when Kinderman's done visiting Joe in the hospital, he goes home and we see his family, and there's a little bit of family life, and he goes to sleep, and we get another dream.
I have a question before we get to the dream, because that dream was something else. And I was like, I may be missing the whole point of this movie when I got to that dream. But is in the hospital, is that where the priest, Father Dyer, says something about the Schwartz?
Yes. When Kinderman leaves, he goes, may the Schwartz be with you.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Is that a Spaceballs reference in this fucking Exorcist movie?
Father Dyer, also huge John Candy fan.
Yeah. Oh,
Is it, well, because Dyer's favorite movie is The Wonderful Life. And then he asked like Kinderman, like, what's your favorite movie? And he's like, The Fly. And I was like, there's a lot of like modern references in this movie.
yeah, Spaceballs would have just came out in this movie, like very recently, but I think
Spaceballs was 86, so it would have been
it
like
was 88.
Somebody get Mel Brooks on the phone.
Dun, dun, dun.
1987.
Oh,
We'll split the difference. We'll split the difference.
Teamwork. That's good to see.
But they do have and they set this up, not set it up, but they allude to it in the first Exorcist and here that they go to the movies every week.
Yes.
So
I know they're big movie
Yeah, they're big.
heads.
So I think that's what that's supposed to be, but it's hilarious. Yeah, to be like, what the fuck? Did he say Schwartz?
Yeah, he's like Schwartz. I was like, I'm sorry, did I just hear that? And then it was like, what the fuck? And then we cut to the family life
They
and
also
then the dream.
implied how shitty this hospital is when that nurse comes in and is like, I'm here for your shots. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, is this room 209? He's like, no, this is 211. Like, oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, we also hear that other woman in the other room was like, who stuck this patient? And I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell is going on at this hospital?
Time to find a new hospital.
Yeah, he goes, peaceful place, isn't it?
Yes, you're real quick. You guys are definitely right. The more like I think back on it, I wish I had understood the story better because the dialogue was great, and I think I missed a lot of it just trying to like figure out what the hell was
How
supposed
it
to
all
be going
relates.
on.
Yeah.
For sure. So Bill goes home and he goes to bed, and then we get another dream vision. And this one's weirder than the last one. And this one has a random Fabio in it.
And a random Sam Jackson.
And a random
Wait, Samuel Jackson was there?
Very young Samuel Jackson.
Was that him?
That was him. He doesn't speak. They dub over his voice.
Oh, I was like, he looks like Sam Jackson,
Yeah.
but I was like, that's not Sam Jackson's voice.
There's movies full of cameos in the diner scene. There's a random Larry King in the background.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Neat.
Can we talk here for a minute?
Now, John, do you remember this dream sequence? Maybe you can describe it better
Yeah.
than me, other than just because I was just dumbstruck. I was like, why is Fabio here?
Well, if you're gonna have angels, have a pretty man.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, so he's in this I guess it's the hospital, and he's walking through it. He sees these angels in very stereotypical, white robes, wings. One of them is Fabio, and he sees.
I get it. I mean, I understand.
He sees the little boy who died, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry that you were murdered. And the kid was like, oh, it's all right.
Yeah, the kid is just like, it's cool. And I was like, after what happened to you? No.
Yeah, and his head's on him, but you see stitches all around his neck, where it got stitched back on. He sees a big band playing, and they're just playing a random song that I didn't have any meaning to me.
See,
maybe
I thought that was the song that lady was singing later on in the movie.
Oh, maybe
I thought it was the
was.
same song, but I might be mistaken.
well, they're playing a big band's playing a song, and then he sees Father Dyer, and he's like, "Oh, are you having this dream too?" And his neck's all stitched up, and he's like, "I'm not dreaming." And then the phone rings and they wake up. Kinderman wakes up, and that's when he gets called back to the hospital.
I did not expect Father Dyer to get killed.
Me either.
It was such a shock. I was like, oh, he's dead now.
Yeah.
Fuck. I liked him.
Well, I thought he died of whatever he's in the hospital for at first, and then it was all like, so what happened? And I was like, oh, wait, something bad happened here.
And the thing is, they don't even fucking tell him. He has to ask, right? So he goes in this room.
Well,
obviously,
they know the relationship, right? They know that they're best friends. It's
True.
like, dude,
But
I'm going to have
he
to
is
describe this.
lieutenant. He is a lieutenant. They should have been like, all right, lieutenant, here's the situation.
But you may be a little less, you may not want to just be out with it. Oh, your buddy's head's chopped off and blah, blah, blah.
fair.
Blah.
I mean, realistically, they
Wait, was
would
his
have.
head chopped off too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember when he leaves the hospital the first time, you actually see a statue with a missing head.
Yes, I saw that, and I
That's
was
where
like,
they got the Christ head they put on the kid out who got
well,
crucified.
that's the
on
thing. They made it
horse.
sound like it was his MO, and I was
Yeah.
like, cool. But then, I was like, where's all the blood? And then I guess,
Explains.
I guess that explains the whole cup thing.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us what happened to
Yeah,
Father
please.
Dyer?
Yeah, so Kinderman walks in. He's covered with a white sheet. He looks under it, gives him that Kinderman face, and then he looks over to Father Dyer's left, and then he goes, what's going on here? And the coroner is like, that is all of Father Dyer's blood. Not a drop was spilt. Not even on the container. There are no smears. So the Gemini killer, the demon, drained Father Dyer's blood perfectly and put him in little cups on a table right next to him.
There was not enough cups there to have an entire human body's full of blood.
It didn't seem like it. I guess I don't know how much blood's in my body to be real.
There's a
but
lot
did
of
not
blood in
seem
your
like
body,
enough.
bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood in your body.
And then he tears, and then there's a curtain over the headboard, and he tears it down, and written in blood is "It's a Wonderful Life."
Yes, which I thought,
4.7 liters of blood.
really, that's
What's
it?
that like in American?
Uh,
A gallon and a half.
1.2 to 1.5 gallons.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
that
think it's
might
enough
fit.
cups.
Yeah.
Okay, that was enough cups. Holy shit. I feel like as big as we are, we'd have more blood
I would
in
have
us.
agreed. Yeah.
I'm as big as I am because of all the fat.
Well, I
It's all
guess
blood for me.
I guess it is a lot of, like, the blood's only in your veins, so there's
Yeah.
not tons of it. Weird.
All right, learned
Wow.
something new today at the Grave Talk
Cool.
podcast.
Creepy.
This has been the Science Minute with the Great Talk Podcast.
What were we saying before we got
It's,
distracted? by
It's
that?
a Wonderful Life was written in blood on the wall behind Dyer.
Right. The Gemini Killer's one of his things is writing that above every corpse he kills. Wonderful with 2 L's.
But did it have 2 L's when it said Wonderful Life?
It did.
On the wall? Okay. I was about to say, I didn't remember if it actually had that because I knew that they said that's one of the killer's MOs. And I was
things.
like, I didn't remember reading that. And I was like, well, then he missed up. But
No, he did it because I was looking at it, I was like, why is there 2 L's? Full
Oh,
life? Yeah.
okay, okay.
Kinderman, George C. Scott does a really good job of showing restraint and not just freaking out right there.
Yes.
Because if one of you guys got your heads cut off and all your blood put in jars, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening right now?
He just
but he's just
swallows
stone
it.
cold.
Yeah.
And he only breaks a little bit later where he kind of
that Columbia record company's coming back to get there.
I mean, realistically, I know because it's a movie. I mean, realistically, they'd have pulled him off the case at this point, right?
Oh,
They'd be like,
absolutely.
dude, your best friend who you've known for, 30 years is just murdered.
Damn it, Kinderman, you're too close to this one.
You can't
Take some time off.
investigate your best friend's murder.
I'm going to need your gun and your badge.
That's it. So then, and he loses it with the nurse, right? And I don't understand why she was being so difficult.
Because she's an asshole.
Yeah,
that
she's
nurse,
such a
for
dick.
other reason, is just an asshole.
The old one or the
yeah,
young
the
one?
old German-looking woman.
He's like, when did you last see Dyer live? 5 a.m. Okay, what did you go do at 5? He has to draw every fucking piece of information
Did you
out
see
of her.
anybody in the hall? Well, that depends. What do you mean? Like,
Yes.
did you see anybody in the hall?
She's like, oh yeah, I saw this lady. Oh, okay. Was she standing there? Well, I wouldn't say that. Like, is now the time?
Yes. Yeah.
I thought they were propping her up to be this kind of bullish and unwilling to talk
Right.
because she had something to do with it.
No, she's
but
just-
she doesn't. She's
Yeah.
just a bitch.
That's exactly the feel you and she's like says these words that sound similar to like gospel-y warnings and stuff like that, and you're like, weird. Like
just being
she's
weird.
part of this. But yeah, she's just being a pain in the ass.
She's just a red herring to what's
Yeah.
actually going on.
She could have just led with, hey, there was an unconscious patient right in front of his door. That's a key information you want
Right.
to open with. You don't force the cops to drag it out of you. Anyway, but
Since you've mentioned it, this hospital seems to also have a dungeon with all the crazies in it. Like, I was like, what hospital is this? Like, they have a whole ward.
It has a
Psychiatric.
prison level like lockdown
Yeah.
area.
It's called the isolation wing or something like that.
nice and charming name for it.
And they introduced this other doctor who's in charge of the isolation wing, and I don't remember his name.
The guy smoking nonstop.
yeah.
Chapman, something like that. I feel like.
Chadwick. Chadwick Fudgeman.
He's a doctor.
Dr. Temple. It's Dr. Temple.
Okay, so Dr. Temple's in charge of this. And yeah, you're right, Garrett. He's just like chain smoking. And they make such a big deal to show, like, that cigarette's almost done. I'm going to light up this next one. And there's like crushed up packs in his ashtray. It's like, something wrong with that man.
Well, is that the first? We meet him again though, don't we? When he's like
Yes.
practicing the lines.
Yeah, he
Okay, I
comes
want to make
back
sure that was
later.
2 different times, but yeah, he meets them, and that dude is like nervous.
Oh, holy shit. That's the dude from Walking Dead.
Oh,
It's Herschel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
damn. Well, yeah. So after they find out that it's this lady was passed out in front of the door, they go and they meet Dr. Temple, and he's like, all right, here's our crazy person wing. That's rude to say.
Yeah, why did he show him the
But-
crazy person wing?
because that's where the lady was. She's comatose, and she's not supposed to be able to have left there or talk.
Oh, because I know they showed the door. They're like, it only opens. One
Yeah.
person's allowed through. It locks behind us. And I was like, how the hell are they getting out of here?
So he's showing them all that, and then he's like, hey, there's the lady that you want to talk to. And he goes, well, actually, I want to talk about 2 things. One, God, George C. Scott's such a great actor, right? A lady comes up to him and goes, hey, are you my son? And instead of going, no, he goes, I'd be very proud to believe so. Damn.
That's such a perfect line
Yeah.
to that
What
dumb
a nice
question from-
thing to say to an
Yeah.
old woman who, because they say some of these people have dementia,
Yeah.
amnesia and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, and so he said to be like really kind. And I was like, cool. And then she's like, you're not my son. And then like walks off all pissed. And I'm like, damn, lady.
Such a nice thing. I would have never in a million years come up with that line on my own. But then he takes her to the other lady, and she's like, hey, are you the radio repairman? And he's like, yeah. She's like, well, no, you're not, because I'm holding a fucking phone. But it's all right. Anyone would have made that mistake. It's like, But she also does say before that, he goes, what's wrong with it? And she's like, I hear dead people. I was like, all right, Sixth Sense.
I missed that.
Yeah, when he asked her, what's wrong with your radio? She says, I hear dead people through it. And he's like, all right, that's unusual. And so then he goes back to Dr. Temple and was like, hey, you're lucky she was chatty today. And he's like, this is not time for a joke, dude. And he's like, no, normally she's comatose.
Now, this might be a good time to just mention that he will revisit this ward again.
Yes.
In one of the creepiest scenes, there's a woman on the ceiling crawling around.
Yeah, but later, I think it's the same woman.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah,
the
the
radio woman.
lady,
Yeah,
right?
and I was like, Hereditary.
Yeah.
This movie is an inspiration to all the horror movies.
Take that, Ari Aster, you hack, ripping off Exorcist 3.
Are we at the point where he leads him into the room and he meets the Gemini killer?
Yeah, so how does he get to see the Brad Dourif?
He leads him into the dungeon part where he's showing him, the code changes every day. He's walking down the hall and he hears someone say Kinderman.
Okay.
It says Bill.
Bill, yes, yeah. He says Bill, and then he takes a step back. He looks in, and he sees Brad Dourif's character, and it looks just like Father Damien from the first movie.
Okay, that's what confused me because I was like, because later on when he goes to see Brad Dourif, I was like, he's seeing someone else now? I was like, what is going on?
And this is one of the confusing parts for me because while they're revealing that this Brad Dourif's character is in this ward, they start having the death be not proud monologue over it. Though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, thou art not so. And it's like, what is this happening exactly? Like, why is this happening?
Was he hearing that, or was it just supposed to be ambiance?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, we're setting up the scene for later, or what? Was he saying it himself in the cell?
Yeah,
because his head is just.
Because
down.
I thought he was saying it in the cell. I thought he was actually saying.
I also thought that, but it is confusing. I do admit that, and this movie does do weird things with sound. Like Garrett had mentioned, there's always something going on, like in the background of the audio between like weird chanting or weird words. But yes, I don't really know where that's supposed to be coming from within the film, unless it's not like.
Yeah, and just to be exact, that particular speech is from the Holy Sonnet 10, written in 1500, 1600 time frame. So it's really old.
the golden 15s.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So then he's walking down the hall and he gets distracted, and then someone's like, look, the director of the hospital, whatever his name is, freaking out because when he had left Father Dyer's room, he's like, look, I want cops everywhere. Nobody gets in. Nobody gets out. And I guess finally word got up to management and they pull him in and they're like, what the fuck? You cannot do this. You're causing a panic. You need a warrant. And this is where he finally snaps. He's like, listen, people are dying. It's the Gemini killer. Here's, this is where he tells them that information about the right and left fingers and the skin.
Which is weird that he give that information up to the doctor.
Yeah. But
he's not the doctor, right?
He's the
guy
director.
He's the director of the hospital. He's the guy that
But
runs
still,
the place.
if you put out false information about a killer, it'd be weird that you'd give out the correct information all of a sudden.
I think maybe he just needed to get it out. He's
Maybe.
like, listen, dude, you need to shut the fuck up and listen to what I have to say.
All right, fair.
He yells at him. I can't remember what he yells, but he actively
It's something like, shut your fucking mouth, or something like that.
Finally cracks, right?
Yeah, he loses it.
And he starts tearing up. He starts crying a little bit for the loss of his friend. So he's finally showing some of that emotion he's been trying to hide. And this is about the time, I think, where the murders are linked to the exorcism in the first movie.
Yeah.
Right? Now, where is that connection made?
Yeah, how is that done?
I think Bill goes and talks to the leader of the diocese or something.
Yeah.
And he's the one's like, well, it's because of that exorcism, dude.
The Reagan because he goes, hey, do you believe in Exorcist? And he's like, I don't know. What does it matter, dude? I got fucking, real problems to deal with. And then it leads into one of the only jump scares in the movie. There's two where he gets distracted in this church. You can hear whispers on the wind and he's walking through this really dark church because the power had cut out, and then he bumps into a secretary.
That's right.
Amy,
yeah, who's delivering a speech or whatever, and then he brings it back up and the power
which
kicks
is really
back
weird.
on.
She was like, oh, good, you can give him his speech. And I was like, a priest is a speechwriter?
But he's the president of the University of Georgetown, I think is what he's supposed to be.
That was a university. I thought that was a church.
Yeah, this is all taking place at Georgetown University. So the hospital, because that's where the first movie also took place in Georgetown. And
so he wasn't a man of the cloth? I literally
well, Georgetown University is a Catholic university.
Okay.
Yeah,
so he would be
everyone there is priests and also, scholars.
Gotcha. And is this the same white-haired guy who shows up at the end?
No, that's a different guy.
Because I thought we're introduced before he goes to the college to talk to the president of Georgetown.
Father Morning or whatever.
We cut to a scene where Father Morning is in his room and he's listening to this little baby bird he has in a box chirp. the bird stops making noise, and he goes and looks, and the bird is dead.
Yeah.
Another instance where we kill an animal.
Aw, but true.
I mean, this wasn't gory at least, but like the bird's dead, and then like some weird wind starts blowing in, and the crucifix flies off the wall onto the floor, and then he's like, okay, that's weird.
Morning is like, oh, it's time to do some battle. He like knows right away.
But again, though, like out of nowhere, this character's introduced. Out of nowhere, he's like, some shit's up, and then we cut away from it, and it's like, don't worry about him. And I'm like, why even talk about him yet?
He's a studio, like, injection, and I think in the book he's more involved or something, or involved differently.
Okay, so this was added,
but pretty much this is studio
mostly.
stuff.
Okay.
But the university president,
because it felt weird that it was added in there.
does say like, oh yeah, this guy, he's done some exorcisms. Go talk to him.
Referring to Morning.
Yeah, referring to Morning.
Okay.
But I don't think they ever cross paths. I can't remember a scene where Kinderman and Morning, except
Not
at the
to the
very,
end.
very
Not
end.
to the very end. Yeah.
But the university president does mention this guy's done exorcisms before. If you are,
if you need that
if you
shit.
need that.
Yeah.
At this point, the information is delivered that, oh, by the way, the ladies in the crazy ward has her fingerprints on those jars next to your dead friend with all the blood.
Oh, that's
Right.
right.
So he's
the
like-
old lady, right?
Yeah, the old woman about the
comatose lady.
radio.
Yes.
And he goes back and talks to her, and she's like, that's not my radio. Because she's sitting next to the body now with the jars. And they're like, why is your fingerprints on these? And she's like, that's not my radio. My radio is newer. And it's like, okay, that's all we're getting out of her.
Yeah.
Also, in that scene, though, it's important. The radio, the lady, the comatose radio lady, is like, you get the idea that she's not capable of moving around and doing anything physically. Really, like, it's not that she doesn't remember what she did, but like, it also is like, there's no way she's physically capable of this. Like, her mind, her body is just not.
She's not
there.
faking it.
That radio isn't mine. Mine is newer.
About this time, Dr. Temple shows up and he's like, hey, man, I think I got somebody you need to talk to. We found this dude 15 years ago and he was in a comatose state.
The weirdest fucking segue. Like, this came up and I was like, you never thought to mention any of this before.
Especially when he saw Kinderman look in the same guy's cell.
There's a plot explanation for that.
Okay, go ahead then.
So he's like, okay, we brought this guy in the same day that the Gemini killer died. We brought him in. He's been comatose for years, but has past 6 months, he's gotten better every single day.
Is this where Dorf later explains that he had to rebuild this guy's brain?
Yes.
Right, and
okay, right on. Sorry to spoil anything, but like, holy shit.
He also explains, I had to put this doctor up to it because I told him if he didn't, I would punish
Yeah,
him.
Dr. Temple was working for the Gemini killer, quote unquote. That's why he didn't mention it.
Was Dorf
Yeah, Dorothy,
said, you got to help me?
or I'll punish you.
So Dr. Temple's like, let's go talk to him. He's getting better. He can speak. And I think he might have said something like he's asking for you or something
So when
like
that was the Gemini killer putting the doctor up to it. So the doctor was told to bring
Yes.
Kinderman to him.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. See, I couldn't figure out later on. He's like, I had the doctor. He's so gullible. I told him something bad would happen and he believed me. I didn't know what the doctor was supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
and I
he's
guess
like-
it was to bring Kinderman into this cell.
He's
Exactly.
like, I know that you would fall for it and come in and talk to me. It was all a setup.
He didn't intend for the doctor to kill himself. He's like, I guess he couldn't handle the stress.
They find the doctor like way OD'd on some fucking like, injections.
Kinderman goes and talks to patient X.
Yeah.
Gemini killer /
Every scene with Kinderman and Brad Dorff could be like an acting class. Every single one of them is
It's a
exceptional,
masterclass.
dude.
Masterclass.
It's so exceptional.
It's such a good scene, and I don't even think I could do this scene justice by describing it.
All right, John, me and you're going to play this out. I'll be Brad Dorff and you're going to be Kinderman.
I don't remember any of the lines, so
Just make it
hopefully
up
got a
as you go.
script.
All right, Billy, listen up. I'm the Gemini killer, and you need to tell everybody because I'm working hard at this.
The Gemini killer's dead. I fucking saw him die because I'm a cop and I did that.
Corinthians 17:22. Know that I am the Gemini killer. Go tell them now.
I'm not going to do that.
Also, Legion, not the X-Men, but the other Legion. We are many.
The original Legion.
All right, and scene. God, we nailed it. That was
Perfect.
great.
Yeah.
You guys, I was like, you were Brad Dorff and you were George C. Scott.
Thank you.
So good.
I'm so impressed with I'd like to thank Jesus and my family.
I'm going to thank Satan. We got to have the duality here.
So yes, in between all of the religious antithetical, babble that Dorff's doing, we find that his main thing that he wants, he's like, you tell everybody, you put it on the news, you tell them that I am the Gemini killer, or I'm gonna fuck with you.
I'm going to punish you, he says.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm back, baby.
And he tells this like really sad but amazing monologue story where he's like, I picked this little girl up and I drove her to the woods and then I killed her and I left her body there. Well, most of her body.
Some of it's here. I'm a
Damn.
saver.
Yeah.
I have some of it still. And I was like, what? Like, it's so creepy. And he's telling him things that, like, at this point, Kinderman knows this guy has Gemini killer information. There's no way he could not know this stuff. There's no way he could know this
because that
stuff.
particular murder was not told to the public.
Yeah.
Yes,
and he has
exactly.
inside information. Like, he shouldn't know this at all.
Yes. And so at that point, Kinderman is officially like, what is up? This dude knows Gemini information, but the Gemini killer's dead. And he says that. He's like, there's no way that dude died 15 years ago. I watched him die. And he's like, and then he starts saying some like biblical stuff that kind of is very cryptic.
And then he starts poking at him about Father Damien, and he's like, hey, I'm going to invite you to the dance, and we know his daughter, we found out earlier, goes to dance classes, right? And he's like, oh, he's in here with me. He's tortured. We're never going to let him go. And he just needles him till he fucking punches him, man. And that's like the second time we see him sort of break again.
Yeah, and when he hits him, that's when he's like, oh, I see you want an invitation to the dance. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck. Shouldn't have done that, Bill.
Yeah.
Bad move, Kinderman.
And
The cha-cha slide. You know what I'm saying?
And this is the scene that in the theatrical cut, it's interwoven with the original actor that played Damian Karras and Brad Dourif. So it is a little off-putting at first. Like, why does it keep changing to this older dude?
He meets with Dorff the first time. He finds out information about the killer, like the kill that he should know. He leaves. He goes and does a little like own personal like research and kind of
No,
like
he does that after he punches him because remember he goes to the nurse is taking care of him, and the nurse says something like "save your saviors" or whatever.
Save the
your
servant.
servants. Yeah.
Yes.
And
he goes, "Why did you say that?"
Yeah.
And is that because Dyer said that before or something?
I think it's just a weird thing to say. And then
Okay.
she's like, "Yeah, something that
he says that, and it always stuck with me.
Yeah.
And that's again, I thought she's in on this. Because she's in on this. She's dropping information that he specifically needs here.
I think she's in on needing to move the plot along. So then he goes, and it's not like the normal trope, but he does go hit the books and find the saying.
Yeah, he goes like a church or something like that, and is like looking through these like weird churches, and he
manuscripts,
finds it.
and yeah.
And what is the name of that chapter, that book that he's looking
It was
at?
like exorcism.
Yeah, it was something exorcism.
the Roman ritual.
The rites of the
Yeah.
exorcism. And I was like, holy shit. And so he's piecing it together. And then he goes back this time. And this is where he starts talking to Dora. So basically, he's poking at him and he's getting information. He's like, I don't believe that you're really the Gemini killer. He's like, you will tell them. And then he starts getting more into the meat. And as you said, you realize that like he might have people inside him.
Yeah, he tells it.
Well, he reveals how he entered the body.
Yes.
And this is such a great reveal, right? He's like, it was so masterful what the master did and how he did it. He's like, as Karras' spirit was
He
leaving
threw me a
the
scrap,
body,
which I thought was great to say.
yeah, the master threw me a scrap. So he's like, as Karras' spirit was leaving his body, he slipped my spirit in. But the problem was the body had been dead for too long and the brain had turned into jelly.
Yeah.
And it's taken me 15 years to repair the brain cell by cell.
Whoever wrote this, whatever
Peter
his name,
Blatty, yep.
Blatty did a great job. He's like, we're spirits, but we can only interact through physical beings. And he was like, I have to use the brain synapses. I have to use the physical mind to actually do. So like
he tells him there's no magic in this world.
Yeah,
in your
basically,
icebox.
basically saying like the spiritual stuff exists, but I have to use the science physical form of what you guys exist in this box you call your world. Like he's bound by the rules of our world.
And he loved how he counts the story of the Exorcist in such like almost legal terms. He's like, certain parties expelled certain other parties from a certain girl's body.
Plaintiff B.
Yeah, and certain parties were very unhappy about that.
It would be interesting if this was like another studio that made this movie and they were bound that they couldn't use anything for movie one.
So is the master Pazuzu?
I think so.
Or Satan.
It might be Satan. It's confusing.
Lucifer,
he does
Beelzebub.
say, he goes, who? And he's like, I can't tell you. And he goes, why? He goes, it's forbidden.
Yes. And I was like, whoa. But then he said like certain parties were really upset about that.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, was Pazuzu related to this story? Like,
I think Pazuzu is who's in the body right now. I think the master is Satan.
So you think the Gemini killer was Pazuzu? Or you think Pazuzu was basically using the Gemini killer
It's
as
Legion. There's so many people inside that body right now the Gemini killers in
One
there
of them.
with them.
One of
along
them in
with
there.
Damien Karras.
Oh, fucking A, dude. That's crazy shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of people inside of the body of Damien.
I mean, I knew he had a lot of people in it, but I didn't think about like the Gemini killer just being one of those.
Yeah.
Damn. Yo, this shit's crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
and then when you connect it to the movie one where poor Damien Karras fell down the stairs breaking his neck, you thought that was the end of the
Yeah.
poor father. No, he is now a vessel for demons.
And Brad Dourif's character says this. He's like, it's beautiful. And because the first meeting, that's where he talks about how he kills them and drains the blood and it's an
Yeah.
art form. And he's like, you show the
Nobody
the head,
appreciates
the body.
it.
He's like, there's artistry to what I do. And that's the first run in. That's when he gets punched.
Yeah.
Then when he comes back, he reveals the Legion stuff. And it's this point, he's like, and it's beautiful because he has to watch me do this. Like Damien the priest is having to watch me, and Dyer and all these people are having to like watch me like kill these people.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's me, like the dude that he expelled, like it's me, baby. It's
horrible.
And it's like, and that's when they start cutting to the different actors. And that fucked me up. I was like, wait, who is this now? Is it the same room? And then I think it would be better if it was just Dorif.
I agree, but it is effective too. I think I'm going to like both versions, honestly. I think I'm going to like them for different reasons.
Yeah.
The theatrical and the director's cut. At this point, he leaves, and we've got a nurse that's going through and checking all the doors, and she thinks she heard something. And this scene made me
The young blonde nurse.
Yeah, this scene made me jump.
Oh, the second
she looks like Linda
jumps-
Hamilton. I was like, is that Linda
Oh,
Hamilton?
well, before he leaves, what is it? The Gemini killer. I'm just calling him Dorif because that's who he's got so many
Call
people.
him
inside.
Patient X.
Patient
or
X. Okay.
Gemini Killer is the same.
And so he gives he tells Kinderman, he's like, oh, well, you're not listening to me. You will go tell them I'm the Gemini killer, or there's going to be one more tonight. And he makes like a vague threat about this nurse, like cutting off her head. And then that's when we cut to this scene.
And they show her going through, checking the rooms, locking the doors. And doesn't she bust into one of them by accident? And then there's a jump scare of one of the
she
patients.
hears like a rustle sound.
Well,
and
the door's open. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks in, she opens it, and it's like ice that had melted. And the patient jumps up. He's like, what the fuck? Why are you
waking me up?
If it's bad enough, you wake me up at 5 a.m. for breakfast. This is harassment. I'm going to report you. What's your name?
I love that he goes, what's your name? And she goes, so-and-so. And like, he just like flat out gives it to him.
She does not care. She's like, it's Alan Keating or whatever. It's with a K because everyone he kills has a K.
That was one of the Gemini killer's MOs.
Yeah.
But did he mean to? Because he said it's like a happy accident.
He said it was a coincidence. He was trying to kill people around Bill, but hey, look, I found a K.
Everyone knows K.
Cool.
So she's going and checking all the rooms, like I said, and she goes in this one room, and the shot is from down the hall.
Yeah.
It's not closed up. It's a full scene, and a lot of the cinematography was interesting in this film too. I don't know if you noticed.
Stationary
Loved it.
camera shots.
With just people acting both
Yes.
in the scene.
The camera did not move a
Because,
lot.
like, specifically in this scene, in the far back, you see there is a security guard on the floor. Now, they did put a cop on there, but he gets
But he goes
distracted.
to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And it's a long shot down a hallway where you see her at the desk on the right side of frame, and then you see a room on the left side of frame, and then like along the hall there's a bunch of doors. But yeah, you see her walk from the desk into a room and then walk back to the desk, and
she locks the door.
wait, did she lock the
Yeah.
door?
I watched it 5 times.
She locks it.
She locks that door closed.
Oh,
she turns
fuck
around.
no.
She turns around. That door blasts open as someone wearing a complete white bodysuit of some kind with medical shears, and she's like right behind her, and it just goes around the corner, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about the weapon that comes up a bunch.
Yes, the scene where they like
There's like these industrial scissors that they're
spring-loaded scissors that can basically just lop a head off.
yeah, that they're like, oh, these are, very easy to open, but when they close, they can cut a head off. And Kinderman, so it's the mortician basically showing him, and Kinderman sees it, is like, hey, this one is new. It's got a label on there. And he goes, what happened to the old one? And they never answer. It just cuts at that question. Terrifying scissors. And my understanding is they don't actually exist.
Were they just made up for
They were
this
just
movie?
made up for this movie. There's no
It's such an effective weapon.
there's
though.
no medical instrument. And well, the other part that I
I think they
read,
use like saws and stuff
yeah,
like that.
is that springs don't work that way. They can't put out more force than you put into them. They're not magic. So if they're very
And
strong,
that's just science, baby.
yeah, if they're very strong, they're going to be very hard to open.
This figure basically comes right behind her, and then boom, cut to
Kinderman basically back, like
cut to her not having a head.
And Kenner was like, why am I back here again? But now it's like the killer was, what did he do? He
cut her head open.
and then slid her down the middle
Yeah.
and stuffed her full of rosary beads, right?
yes,
What?
yeah, because he
Oh,
goes.
I missed that.
he sliced her open and then filled her up with other material and sewed her up. And Kinderman, because nobody in this movie just tells the fucking the lead detective key information, has to ask, what are the other materials? And he goes, rosary beads.
And that was actually the threat that Dorff gave Kinderman before he left, was something about beads. Like, so like this made sense. This connected this killing to what patient X Gemini killer Dorff literally said before he left that previous day.
At the same time, I don't remember how he finds out, but we find out the doctor's dead too. Dr. Temple had killed himself.
Because then he goes and talks to Dorff like right afterwards. Oh yeah, I guess he couldn't take it. I didn't even possess him. He didn't say I possessed, but he's like, I didn't even have to do anything with him. He just couldn't take it.
Handle the stress.
Yeah.
He reveals that, hey, guess what? I don't actually leave the cell, bro.
Yeah.
I am body hopping inside of the crazy ward, and I'm taking him over, and that's how I'm doing all this.
Comatose people are so easy to possess.
He's like, I work with my old friends.
That's how we asked, how do you get out? And he's like, old friends.
I'm a traveling man.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh, okay.
Everything Dorff says is super cryptic, yet very like...
It answers the question.
Yes, it does, but the way he says it's like riddly.
Yeah,
riddly.
Which goes kind of back to how The Exorcist, how Pazuzu originally answered Father Damien's question.
So that makes sense that it would be Pazuzu, and he's basically using the fucking Legion. Oh, dude, this is crazy.
He says old friends because he's body hopping into old people, physically old people.
So Bill Kinderman's trying to figure out where this is leading, right? The invitation to the dance has been extended, right?
He's asking to prom.
Yeah.
And he's walking on air. You have my answer.
I'm walking on sunshine.
Woohoo.
So he's wandering through the hospital, just trying to piece it all together. And he goes into a dark room, one of the rooms of the hospital. There's like this little kid in there.
Dorff says, like he's like leaning back. He's like, little Jack Horner, blah,
and
blah,
there's
blah.
a kid named Corner.
He's like, it's child's play. And there's a kid named Corner, K, motive. And then he sees a nurse walking away with a bag. And he's like, oh my God, that's got to be, he's going to go kill that kid. Corner/Horner, whatever. And he runs in there. And then he's all like, what are you doing? And the little kid's like, and the lady's like, you get out of here. You don't have any right to be here.
Do you treat your own family this way? Oh, some clicks.
And then he has a flashback. Like he hears like Dorff being like,
dance.
The dance, the invitation.
And then the nurse's name is the same name as his daughter. And he's like, oh shit, he's going to get my daughter. He gets on the phone and he's like trying to call his daughter, but it's busy, right?
Right. He's an old school beep, 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 busy tone.
To try to warn her. Well, she picks up the phone and has a conversation.
Well, his wife is talking to him.
His wife's already on the phone. Like his wife, and you think that he just called his wife to let her know, like, hey,
hey, we're sending over a nurse. She's going to hang out. Just let her whatever. And
the mom's like, okay, no problem. And then we cut back to Kinderman. And
I cut you off before you could forget.
Thank you, appreciate it. And he's got a busy tone. Like he's like, he can't get through to his house. So like, who the hell was his wife just talking to? And that's when you know, like, oh, that's a fake phone call.
And he's screaming, he's like, get in the car. We got to go to my house right now. And this whole scene, and we're introduced to like Stella from the Golden Girls hanging out in this house.
It's his mother-in-law. Remember he says my mother-in-law's there. She's the carp lady. I wonder if they're cooking the carp right now.
I hope so.
Well, they are cooking, aren't they?
Yeah, they are cooking.
She's great in carrots.
Yeah.
So while they're in there, this old woman is just kind of hanging out, the nurse is, and then Bill busts in. He's like, oh, look out. And they're like, hey, why'd you send this weird old lady in here? And she's like, can I go home now, please?
What's great too, before he gets there though, like I think this scene's really underrated. As they're driving there, like you see the old lady in the taxi cab going towards his house, and then you see him in the other car with the other cop, and he's like, fucking mount the curb. I don't care.
Yeah.
Ram them out of the way if you have to. Kinderman is losing his shit.
It's awesome. It's a great,
this is the moment where you're just like, he's no longer Kinderman the cop. He's like Kinderman the survival guy. And like, he's like, just ram the cars, mount the curb. It doesn't matter. And then, he comes to the house, guns like they have their guns out.
Right. He says, he tells the other cop, go around back, I'll go in front. And his wife's like, this nurse just passed out as soon as she got here.
Yeah, I literally thought the movie was going to do something to the effect of the spirit has now jumped into one of your family members. See, I thought that's where they were going with it.
I thought this was a red herring and he was actually going somewhere else.
True.
The rules are they have to be comatose.
But I thought we were going to lead down a path of now he's going to have like a standoff against one of his family members.
Instead, I think the movie does something slightly weaker. So, but I guess to backtrack a little, the nurse does pop up, pull out the shears, almost cuts Julie's head, but her grandma like grabs her hair and pulls her right out at the last second.
Right as the shears are closing.
Oh, it was really well shot.
And then now the nurse / old lady has like super strength, right? She fucks Kinderman up. She fucks the other cop
She's
up.
flinging people across the room.
Yeah.
She's punching them into the ceiling. She's like flipping over tables. And this is an old woman who didn't know where she was or
Right.
anything. And it's like,
And finally,
oh my
she's just
God.
like choking Kinderman to death, and it looks like it's all over. And then she screams and just collapses.
And I don't know if movie 1 touched on this, but definitely the Exorcist book does, is when these people get possessed, they can have super strength.
Oh no, yeah, I think that's just like a
Yeah,
known.
the movie does touch on it because at one point Reagan just smacks her mom all the way
Yes.
across her bedroom.
Right. So it's not a surprising new power set. It's
No.
been introduced in the previous film.
And I think through media alone, we've all kind of accepted if you're possessed by a demon or whatever, you get like the powers.
Superpowers.
You get like super like knock people around powers.
Right. So right about this time, we get the priest that you talk about. The silver-haired priest is going to do an exorcism on patient X.
And that's why you realize the woman stopped because
He got zapped back to the home base.
because the priest
demon-
showed up.
the demon did.
Yeah,
The demon
the
got
priest
zapped.
shows up to be like, all right, I'm taking care of this nonsense.
It's fucking go time.
Which was weird though, because again, we've only met Father Morning once,
One
who
time.
realizes time for go time. How does he know where to go? I mean, I guess to the power of like the Lord or whatever.
Yeah, this is like the weakest part of the movie is the setup, but I really do.
And
like
they also
the
let this
exorcism scene.
random priest into the downstairs like dungeon locked area.
Well, they did say he's the chaplain assigned to the hospital.
Oh,
They like it's like a throwaway line they mention
Okay.
one time, like so.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a stretch, but
And to have him do the exorcism, it's all set up that there's only specific priests that do this. This isn't a
Yes.
common thing, and you
But
have
they-
to get approval.
but they did say earlier-
from the diocese, right?
that part's true. Yeah, he's supposed to get approval. They did.
We saw
lay
Hell Baby.
They did lay the foundation that he has done an exorcism before.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Okay. I
The,
missed
the
that part.
president of Georgetown is saying like, well, this priest, like he's had history with this stuff. You might want to talk to him.
His hair went all white when he did it, and then Kinderman's like, "Oh, is that true?" And the university president's like, "I don't know. Does it matter?"
Okay, I completely
Except this
forgot
guy's
that.
like 35 with white
Yeah.
hair, so yeah, it has to be true.
So they laid the foundation that he does know how to do exorcisms.
Okay.
And they very, very quickly threw away a line of how he could get into this room.
But this is the part I believe that was added by the studio.
Yes, this
right?
whole thing was like, look, you can't have an exorcist movie without having an exorcism.
Right, they weren't going to do that. There wasn't supposed to be an exorcism in this film.
Kinderman was just going to shoot Brad Dourif.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's wow.
And I
Because this
think
whole
that
movie's
would've-
playing out, and I was like, this is a very far stretch for an Exorcist movie.
Yeah, I think that would have been a weaker ending, to be honest. I like this ending with the priest and with Kinderman coming in and him sort of completing this arc of going from a non-believer to a believer. Like,
Well, let's just quickly get through the end here.
Yeah.
We're right here, right? So while Bill is dealing with his family, he's hopping back in the car to drive straight back to the hospital while the exorcism's happening.
Yes.
It's not going so well.
no.
He's seeing cobras. There's fire everywhere. He's like, all this stuff's getting thrown at him.
Fuck that scene. So yeah, the priest is inside the room. Father Morning is in there, and he's all like doing the whole like Latin and all that shit like that, the exorcism stuff.
I don't understand why these priests always got to do the give us our daily bread. Like, why would that be the thing you recite to the demon? That's
Have you
such a
ever had
standard.
bread, baby?
There's
I know it's just such a standard prayer.
in the Roman ritual, that's how you're supposed. There is a guideline of prayers that you are supposed to do step by step by step, and I think that's like
It's a set list.
that particular prayer, because it came from Jesus, is considered to be a very powerful.
Because if we
Okay.
did it,
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
right on.
I'll give you that. But it's like always just like, oh man, this is the one kids say like
Yeah.
every day. Why
It's
are
a
you doing
trope.
that?
Yo, if
Just
it
walk in
works.
there and be like, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
But yeah, so like he's doing his little prayer thing, and then it cuts to the room where the angle of the camera is like low, so it looks like the floor is on fire.
Yeah.
There's cobras and snakes everywhere.
Awesome scene.
And it's because the priest is like blah 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 blah, and Dorf is just sitting there like, bitch, bring it on. Like you got nothing on me,
The
son.
priest mad fucked up because there's always supposed to be two. That's why they called in the Exorcist in the Exorcist movie.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. But
there's
yeah,
a
he's
priest
down
and a
there.
junior.
There was way too many snakes in that scene.
There's a lot of snakes.
Oh, I was not happy with
it was
that.
Indiana Jones level snakes.
I was so, and then like he's all like,
Legion level snakes.
he's like, do you feel them like crawling up your spine, and then there's like snakes like on his neck and on his I was like, nope, I'm out. Like I'd be like, demons win. I'm done, guys.
But to his credit, he don't flinch. He just keeps on a trucking.
He's a professional at this.
And the priest gets blasted against the wall, and now he's just like almost in a crucified,
like force
position.
blasted by Dora.
This is why you're supposed to have a backup priest that throw holy water when this kind of crazy shit happens.
Well, because when the priest first goes in, he throws holy
He's
water
like,
on
"Shut
Dorf,
the
and he's like
fuck up."
burning. Yeah, he's like burning. He's like, that's how he gets sapped out of the old lady.
Yes.
I'm gonna sprinkle a little shut the fuck up juice on your head
Yeah.
right now. Shut the fuck up.
Excuse me, God's talking here.
It's not going so hot for him. And then he starts getting flung around on the ceiling, and then his face like melts into the stone or something.
I think what he's trying to do is get the down. So he pulls his skin like off of his body essentially as he's trying to get down from
Mark's
the ceiling.
right. Before he starts, gross. Before he does that, you realize that like his face, his ear, and his side of his face has been like burnt to like Freddy
fair point,
Krueger
yeah.
level crisp on the ceiling. And then I think you're supposed to realize that his back has been cooked onto the ceiling. And then he's trying to get down, and he rips his skin off like a fucking like pulling like the skin off a piece of fried chicken. It's just grody. Now that was studio stuff.
It is the most explicit scene in the movie, and it feels out of place with the rest of the film.
That's why I like it. I feel like the film finally like earned it, right?
Yeah, it's okay, right? Because this is the climax.
Yeah.
This is where shit goes tits up.
Yes, it's not like great, another scene with gore. It's like whoa, like this is serious.
One thing I did
you,
not expect to see any level of that gore in this movie.
So it like shocks you, right? Which is like awesome. It's incredible how when you earn it, just a little bit of gore can seem so shocking.
Yeah. So some time passes, and Bill makes it back to the hospital, and he busts into the room, and he's looking around. He's like, "What the shit?" And then
sees the priest dead on the ground.
Yeah.
They start talking again.
Kinderman is like, "You're fucking done," and he was all like, "No way, you can't stop me." Yada yada yada.
Yeah, he draws
yada.
a gun, and as soon as he does, Kinderman gets pinned to the wall, just like the priest. He's up against the wall.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Do you believe now, Bill?" And he's like, "I'm a believer. I believe in disease. I believe in death." So what I think, he starts rattling off all this horrid shit, and I think his line of work has brought him to only believe in the bad side of it and not the good side.
Well, that's what I was saying when he's like, "I believe." I was like, "Does he believe in like the dark, the hell, the Lucifer?"
It seems like he only believes in evil, not good.
Well, I thought they were trying to do this whole like, because I've seen all this and I believe that these things exist, there has to be a positive to balance it out. But they did not make that clear. It sounded like he just accepted the dark side.
Well, I think
like, I'm cool with being a Sith, bro. Let's go.
Right.
Like how I kind of read it is that he was saying like, I believe that you are the devil. Not the devil, but you are a demon that Father Karras is possessed. I believe,
and to believe
all
that,
of that,
you have to believe the whole
greater, the whole,
That's what I got out of it too.
Universe that comes with that, the whole Christian cinematic universe, if you will.
the CCU.
CCU, yeah.
CCU.
Hey, next Avengers movie, Jesus is in it.
Ooh.
This next month on the CCU.
So as they're doing this, Father Morning actually turns out isn't dead. So he's crawling toward a crucifix and he holds it up to patient X and he's like, "Damien, fight. I know you're in there. I know you can hear me. Like,
and
fight him."
How did he know that Damien was in there?
In that university president scene, they dump a lot of Father Morning's connections, and I'm like 99% sure they mentioned they've crossed.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Like, he said he was like his protege.
Yeah, some nonsense.
He
like
looked
that.
up to him, and that's why you know.
Yeah. So it opens up a window for Damien to briefly regain control of the body. And he's like, "Do it, Bill, do it." But blam. And Bill just shoots him like 3 times in the chest.
Yeah. Now,
Which they don't show him actually doing. They show it off screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it would have been more powerful if the only time we saw the original Damien actor was here.
Yes.
That would have been cool.
I agree with you.
But
so Damien regains control and is I guess finally is put at rest. Thanks to his friend
managed
Bill.
to like push down
Father Damien. I want to say that because we keep saying Damien. I think we're so used to like Damien being an evil name.
Oh, yeah,
like
fair
people
enough.
could be thinking that like Damien's one of the people inside.
I mean Father Karras, the
Yes,
character
yes.
from part 1
Yes,
who fell
Father
down the
Karras.
stairs.
Well,
and
they
whose
kept saying
body is
Damien
now,
and then Father Karras, and I was like, are these two separate people? I didn't
Damien
remember they're the
Karras,
same person.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he shoots him, and And that's pretty much the end. I think we watch him bury.
Well, he walks up to him and like he's like, and then you hear voiceover like in the air. It's like, now finish it. And he point blanks puts one more through Dorff's head just to make sure to like expel Karras and all the people inside this.
Which you should.
Yeah.
And my real only complaint with this movie is the fact that it ends so abruptly.
Yeah.
It shows Kinderman standing over the grave as I guess they're lowering the body in, and then credits.
Of Damian Karras,
Yeah.
I could have used a little more of like
What happened to
him
Morning?
talking to his family, maybe talking to the university president again.
Well, I think
just a little more wrap up.
They had to end there because how is he going to explain any of the movie? Kind of wrote itself into a real life corner. Like he's a cop who just killed a patient who's technically straitjacketed.
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I want that. I was like, what happened? Like Bill just, without it knowing what went on in that room, he just killed a patient.
Yeah.
And the priest is dead. Like, how does he explain?
Was
his
the
way out of
priest
this?
dead? Was Morning dead?
Yeah, I think he
assumed
died
from
after.
his wounds. Yeah.
I think maybe it would have been cheap, but I think I was like, have Morning like basically like give me the gun. We'll say I did it.
Yeah, but then how did he lose his service revolver to an injured priest? There's no good outcome here for Kinderman.
Well, yeah, no doubt. But I'm saying, to Mark's point, we could have had anything that kind of made it like, okay, wait, how did this happen? Like,
Yeah, I needed more resolution, is what I'm getting at.
or any kind of direction after what just happened.
But otherwise, this movie is fantastic. This is one of the best
Agreed.
sequels I've seen to a movie, book, whatever you
Yeah.
wanna call it. I think reading the book really gives you a lot more, though.
I've never read Legion, but now I want to go read the
definitely
book.
wanna read the book, too.
Please do, and let me know if they have more of an like an epilogue. Because what does the family do after being attacked by that old woman with demon powers?
Yeah.
The other cops saw it too. He was there.
Yeah.
You know, like Father Morning is basically just like ripped apart. I don't know if he died, but it sounds like he did. You know, like there's so much there. He did shoot a fucking patient point blank. Like, it's like, what happened to any of
He
this?
executed a patient. I mean, he fucking,
Yes.
know, we know why he did it, but
Yeah.
So while I was looking into this, I found out that in 2004, they released an Exorcist prequel.
Oh.
Did you guys know this?
yes. And then they released a competing Exorcist prequel.
Wait,
Right.
what?
So year one, this guy writes a screenplay. He writes 2 screenplays. He's like, okay, I'm going to do the Exorcist prequel. Here's your option A, option B. They go with option A. They put it out. It sucks. Nobody likes it.
So bad,
They come
dude.
back to him next year. They take option B and make that the movie. And it's like, here's an alternate prequel to The Exorcist.
What?
Yeah.
And they were 1 year apart.
Dude, the
That is
Exorcist
insane.
franchise is a clusterfuck. But you know what is actually good? That was only on for 2 seasons? The Exorcist TV show.
Was that related to the universe?
Yeah, it's in the same universe.
Or is it a retelling, or what is it?
I think it's following the same demon essentially, but it's set in modern times with new characters. And it was actually it's really a good sort of episodic kind of police procedural type take on it. Highly recommend it.
Like an X-Files, if you will.
Yes, it almost is like an X-Files, except with the Exorcist Files.
So kind of like the Conjuring people.
Yeah, kind of. But dude, the prequels nonsense was crazy.
I can't believe they've done that.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever heard of that happening is with the Suicide Squad movies. Like, we made that one. We're going to do it again. But you can stay Harley Quinn, and everybody else is getting recast.
Yeah, but even with the Suicide Squad movie, did they film it, release it to theaters, and then immediately be like, JK, here's another one?
So the Exorcist 3 budget was $11 million, and it made $39 million in the box office. I suppose that's considered a success.
I would think so. I mean, 3 times its budget.
Again, highly recommended. I think everybody should check it out, especially if you like the book. And I can definitely see how it can be confusing. And
It's so confusing. If you guys had not explained a lot of this to me, I still would have been like, I don't get this. I mean, I get like the end, the third act, but like I was just like the first day I was like, I don't understand any of this. Also, the idea that it was actually like fucking Pazuzu, like with all the other things, and there's like that fucking cracked the code for me.
Nice.
Like I didn't catch that.
It gains a lot on repeat viewing. This is at least the 3rd, maybe the 4th time I've seen this movie, and every time I see different things. I'm
I
like,
have
oh.
no doubt Dorff's monologues will mean so much more, and I'll get so much more out of
Yeah.
them if I like watch it again.
So good. Such a great movie. Obviously, I recommend this movie. I can't speak more highly of it. It's super, super good.
I would definitely recommend it too. You know what I'd like to see though? I'd like to see someone do a tighter, cleaned up take on this.
I thought it was pretty tight.
Maybe like a re-edit, or maybe even like some additional dialogue or some additional scenes to like really those things that we had to kind of like loosely try to figure out and piece together. Maybe like just kind of like really like make those clearer.
I'm very excited to watch the director's cut. It's considered Exorcist 3 : Legion is how that one's referred to.
That's how Peter Blatty wanted this to be called, but obviously the studio's like, thank you for your opinion, we don't want it.
Maybe there's some more in that director's cut that might help it out.
That would have been a great moment of like to like actually release this as called Legion, and then like in the third act realize it is related to the fucking Exorcist and be like, I'm sorry, what the fuck did you guys just say?
Yeah. I feel like that's something they would do now, but I also don't think they could ever make a movie like this in 2020.
I don't know if they do it now. I think they'd be too like, we're missing out on money not be able to like market this as an Exorcist movie.
I also don't know if big budget Hollywood is confident in quote unquote talkie films.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Everything's
they would have definitely never made this movie like this now. You'd see every single murder. You'd see
gore.
everything. It would be so annoying.
Excellent film. Well, everybody should go watch it. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Nope.
Okay. Well, listeners, have you seen The Exorcist 3? What do you think about it? Let us know on our social media. You can find us at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We got more content at gravetalk.com. The www is optional.
It'll get you there either way.
Either way. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.